Hello, hi, and welcome again to the Terminal Podcast, where in the end, it's all about the numbers. I'm your host. We are broadcasting high above Pacific Center Station, and the numbers around Metro Atlanta are 21 north on 400 to the perimeter, 19 west on 20 to Six Flags, and 20 south on 7585 to the airport. If you're just flying in, we are entering August and the wild ride before Labor Day rings in September and the school bells for states who haven't already started school. Chris, what do you remember best about the start of a new school year or whatever you want to talk about?
New clothes. And listen, when I say new clothes, we were actually talking about this the other day. I meant like Claire would round up the four of us. We'd go to Sears. You'd get like two new pairs of jeans and like four t-shirts. And like
New clothes.
that
Yeah.
was it. That was it though. It was like
On top of what you previously had, and that was the
right.
clothes you wore. Yeah.
And
Yeah. New
those first
outfits.
couple days showing off the new threads. I actually remember, I don't know why it's so memorable. I remember the shirt I wore the first day of high school.
Really?
Yeah. It was
Wow.
Jason Lux had left it at my house a few weeks earlier. It was actually his brother's t-shirt. It was this
Oh.
white t-shirt with like this funky design that said K Color on it. What color? And it had like all these different colors. It was just a cool shirt. And I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna wear this the first day of school.
Well, we're talking about the start of the school year. We start this show about baseball, just as every game does, picking up the ball at the mound and reviewing the latest Mets starting cycle. This was a questionable roundabout this time around. Clay Holmes today gave up 4 runs, two of them earned after Francisco Lindor error, which set up a home run, but that's still neither here nor there. He
By the
did
way,
pick up the win to
that
start this
home
whole
run
thing.
was crushed.
Yeah,
It was a
he's
fucking meatball sweeper right over the middle, and
I
he
mean,
clocked it.
you've got that, right? So that's the bad side of him. I guess the good side would be the start against San Francisco to continue what eventually ended up as a 7 game winning streak, 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, a run, it was earned, a one walk, just a couple of strikeouts because he's not a strikeout pitcher. He's a contact, he's a pitch to contact ground ball, right? That's the kind of
Yep.
guy he is.
Yeah.
I was listening to Todd Zeal and covering the game, and he's talking about everybody seems to think you can only get people out by strikeout, but that's just the way it is. The starters through yesterday, before this start today, 39 wins, 24 losses if you add this one, as Holmes goes to 9-6, a 3.43 ERA. The staff ERA is slipped down to 3.58. They're no longer tops in the NL. Milwaukee's caught up. San Diego's right there with them. It's gonna probably go down a little bit further, but all this to say, it's a new day, it's a new dawn. The Tyler Rogers era has now begun. Moments ago, and by moments I mean within the last couple of minutes, and by that I mean within the last hour or so. David Stearns finalized the deal for Tyler Rogers of the San Francisco Gigantes. He is giving up Blake Tidwell, who I remember got a start early in spring training. I want to say early in the season he got one, and wasn't able to do much with it, but he's on the move. Blake Gilbert, a center fielder who was stuck in AAA, is on the move. And the biggest loss, as far as I'm concerned, because he was in the dugout and had to go and hug everybody on his way out, was Jose Buto. Uh, your thoughts on the trade?
You are
Easy
throwing
small.
up the soft toss for me.
Okay. So your thoughts and what
Trade,
else?
excellent. Excellent
Mhm.
trade. Rogers, a great bullpen arm. 100%. Great trade. Had to make it. You didn't give up.
Too
You
much.
give up a guy who's not as good as Rogers in Buto.
Yes. Yes.
And I like this one line that a new WFAN host has now. He says prospects are suspects.
Hmm. If
Um,
Yeah.
However, I want to
Hmm.
get to the point of I understand. I was watching the game when it happened. I was listening to Zeal and Gary
Gary
Cohen,
Cohn. Hmm.
and they were harping back to
I
the Wilmer
missed I
Flores.
missed that. I came in the inning right afterward
Okay,
when
it
he
was
was
a few
hugging
minutes later
everybody.
they were
But
talking about it again. They were because Gelb was on
mm,
doing a report about it, and they were talking about the Wilmer Flores thing.
that's where I came in at. But he
Right.
yeah, Wilmer's. Yeah.
Either MLB has to put in a rule, or the principal parties involved just have to say, hey, we're going to wait till after the game to do this, because it's an emotional thing to get traded. I was listening to was it Dan Plesac or Mark DeRosa this morning on MLB Network,
It'd been
and and,
DeRosa,
and they were
probably.
saying, again, it's unique to sports. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and your boss is going to call you into the office and go,
Yeah.
"Hey, here's the plane ticket for 3 hours from now. You're flying to Milwaukee and you're going to work with a whole new set of coworkers."
You're going to be doing the same job, except you're going to
Right.
be doing it with a whole different set of people,
So
uh,
this shit, and
whole
I
different
think it's
manager.
shit where it's happening during the games. And
Yeah.
again, they were emphasizing Buto the same way Wilmer Flores is. Jose Buto's only been in the Mets organization. These people
Yeah.
have been his life for the last 8, 9 years since he's been drafted. And
As
that's
he
just
came up through and
terrible
everything like
that it
that.
happens that they have to go. First of all, you're also trying to win a baseball game.
That too.
And you saw Garrett Reed was emotional about it because
That
apparently him and Buto were very good friends.
they
Like,
came up together. Yeah. It's
yeah. So they have to do something about that because I just don't like it. I
and
just don't like it.
I agree with you. And the problem is that's the kind of thing where social media has made it where a move like that can't stay under
Well,
wraps.
yeah, and they were
You know what I
saying
mean?
that, but my point is, if you don't allow trades, MLB only approves trades at a certain time, right? Because you have to submit the trade to MLB and then they approve it, right? That's how it
Mm-mm.
works.
Okay.
So maybe they don't approve it an hour before your game and an hour after your game, whatever time you're playing that day, and not just around the trade deadline, anytime.
Well, then I hear what you're saying. The only problem is you've got different teams playing at different times and games to end
Yeah,
at
but that's
different
fine.
times.
What the hell's the difference?
Because what if my game's over, but the team that I'm trading with, their game isn't, so they're not able to announce that trade, and now we got to wait, and I wasn't able to get back on the wires and everything like that to start working on. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
but you're not going to
there's
get anybody. The Giants aren't getting anybody
I,
to their game
I'm
today.
I'm playing devil's advocate
Yeah,
to it,
yeah,
but
no,
I
I know
do
what you're
think
saying. But
the
listen,
times
they
is the
can figure
thing.
something out
Oh
because
yeah,
it's really,
certainly.
really bad. It's really, really awkward.
It awkward is the exact answer because you're looking at, like you said, it's one of the few professions where you could be told, like, even the only comparable thing where you're an artist and there is a similar job of yours in a different city would be like an orchestra, so it's like
Right.
the New York
Yeah.
Met just traded with the Chicago Orchestra, and they just traded their bassoonist and two clarinets or like something like that. That's the only, and it sounds silly saying it, but that's essentially what happened. It's like, yeah, guess what, you now live here.
Yeah.
It's like you've got to go, you and whatever your home life was, it's now about to change, because at the very least you hopefully have enough money that you're still able to keep that household up, but you're going to have to either live in a hotel or
At
I don't know
least
how that works.
temporarily.
Yeah,
Temporarily,
yeah,
they're just putting you up in the Ritz Carlton or whatever. Yeah.
something along those lines, but you're basically living out of a hotel until you find some sort of life, and then are you going to live here for the foreseeable future and everything like that? It's
And I think it's worse even. And again, this is the logistical thing you can't work out because the trades happen whether a team's on the road or home. But
mhm.
like Jose Buto doesn't have clean clothes right now.
Yeah,
Like he had packed for a 7 day road trip, with his personal clothing.
and
Obviously,
it was,
the Giants or whoever
oh
get
no,
whatever. But like, you have a home or an apartment in New York, and like you don't have clean clothes. Like
it's the last day of a 7 day
a
road
seven
trip,
day road trip,
and
like
then
you're out
he's
of
got a day
underpants.
off, and there's a day off coming back, so he's probably already planned out. Yeah, I'm gonna get back in. All my stuff's going to
I'm
the
gonna get
laundry.
back, take my stuff
Yeah,
to the laundry, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Nope,
And honestly,
nope.
if you're a younger guy who's not making a ton of money, I don't know what Jose Buto makes. And I'm not saying,
Something that,
listen, I can go out and buy underwear if I needed it. But again, it's just
yeah.
like it's a lot. But I just the
It's
awkwardness of it happening during the games, I just don't like. But
it's
terrific move for the Mets.
it was at the start of my professional career that it was in a similar situation. I was sleeping behind the couch in Columbia, South Carolina. And one of the things I did there was read Lord of the Rings in paper book form for the second time in my life at that time. And to paraphrase, film that I'm certain is one of Chris's all-time favorites. I have questions that need answers. So the trade deadline is happening as we speak. We're talking about one. I'm certain two and three more we made. And once again, there will be grown men who will have to fly to a different city and find some place to stay that isn't the hotel. But which team, and we'll do this quick, which team, in your opinion, is fooling themselves that they still have a chance for the postseason, trade deadline or not?
I
Because
think it's pretty
there's
easy.
five of them. Well, there's five of them that are still in the question. So Texas is a game out of the wild card right now. Are they still? Do they still have a legit shot? They've got. Go ahead.
I'll say yes, just because of a little championship DNA and Bruce Bochy.
Mm. And Jacob DeGrom is a
And
starting
DeGrom's a
pitcher.
legit pitcher. And they have
Yeah,
guys that won a World Series 3 years ago. Like they still have three or four players. They still have Seager and the catcher. What's the catcher's name? The guy can't think of his name, but he was the World Series catcher. So and Bruce Bochy.
I was gonna say
So they're
Bruce
still
Pop
in it.
Brennan.
They have to
That's
make
not it.
moves. They have to make some pitching moves. By the way, the trade deadline is all about relief pitching and the third starters. That's what I figured
Yeah.
out in the last 2 days.
No one's well. I mean, but the big names. If the big names are going to go, it's an earth shattering. It's like a Randy Johnson move, like we were talking
Right,
about
but there's
last
no
time. It's
like sort of big names.
oh yeah, no. It's
It's
either
but the big name gets. I think it's like once every 4 years now. You get an earth shattering one, and then otherwise it's middle relievers and third starters and defensive replacements,
yeah.
which they all are
Now
important. They're all important.
now who isn't a defensive replay well is let me rephrase this is known for his defense is Key Brian Hayes, the
Yep,
son of Charlie Hayes, who is
yep,
now going to the Cincinnati Reds.
yep,
So that was the next team on my list. They're three out of a wild card
yep.
going into today's play. Are they fooling themselves? They clearly believe they're in it.
No, they're not fooling themselves. A, because they have a legit superstar, and B, I think I told you 2 weeks ago during the All Star break that they were my dark horse team to make it because of why
Pitching.
Tito Francona.
Oh,
There are very
he's
few managers in baseball that make a huge difference. You went to the two teams that have the two managers that make a huge difference.
oh, those are the two. And the whole thing is Key Brian Hayes. I saw him
By the
playing against
way, but
Pittsburgh.
by the way, my girlfriend just called.
Well, he's a gold glove third baseman. He's a 240, 250 hitter who's going to knock in the occasional RBI and everything like that. That's going to annoy some team. I was already going, Cincinnati's going to be annoying and pestful, like the Marlins are going to be, because the Marlins are hovering right now, 5 games under 500, and they're not bad, but they're not good, but they're good enough that they're going to take 2 out of 3 for you when they shouldn't. You know what I
When
mean?
you don't need it, yeah.
When you
When you
don't
don't
when
need
it's
them
just
to.
like now in the same state is Tampa, who's three out of the wild card. I don't think they're fool. They never seem to be fooling themselves. They always seem to want to sell if they can or buy if they must. But are they still legit? I
No, I don't think so.
Now how
They'll hang
much of
around because they're a good organization and Kevin Cash is a quality manager and but yeah.
so the last two would be those in the National League, which is St. Louis and San Francisco, 4.5 and 5 out. Are they I mean San Francisco, let me rephrase. So San Francisco just gave the Mets one of their
Right.
a reliever with a 2.8 ERA, who's been a top four in terms of appearances for relievers the last three like 4 out of the last 5 years. It's like he's appears in 70 games a year. So you don't give him up unless you're going, all right, we're done. So they were on the list before this trade. So St. Louis, should they join them and sell?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think
Mhm.
St. Louis or San Francisco are legit. And then Anaheim's randomly buying, which is a whole nother.
Well, yeah. So, well, so I'm talking trade deadline, but I don't. But if you're scanning on to any of the major sports sites and or networks, the trade deadline's being pushed down to the second fold because the opening of dun, 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 dun. Are you? I mean, you're hearing it. I'm certain. Are you ready to start talking football?
Nope.
So off of that, I'll ask, are why
The only thing
are
worse about talking about football is talking about Aaron Rodgers football. Sorry.
oh
Yeah, exactly. I heard the
Why
disgust in your voice.
why are American sports fans so focused on the fall? Is it the weather? I mean, I honestly wonder that question because it's like of all the sports, it's football is played the least. You know what I mean? It's
Right,
they're
and
the
talked
high
about the most,
school,
but
it's absolutely
to
talked about the
play to
most,
talk
but
about percentage, the ratio is skewed.
and I'm puzzled by it. And because of that, I get to now throw in the news angle of on Tuesday, Shane Tamura, a 27-year-old Las Vegas casino worker, drove from Nevada with an assault rifle, walked into a Manhattan office and killed four people before taking his life with a chest shot. And his note said to check his head for CTE.
Yep.
Scarily enough, I just was flipping on the Facebooks and watched a Family Guy skit where it's Chris goes into a tent that's the NFL experience, and the agent,
I
what I'm talking about, Joe Leckie, the
I
agent
don't
comes over,
remember
with
it, but
yeah, the agent comes by and says, "You're going to be a star," and he has him sign his contract. And then a player comes over and he says, "Oh," and then he says, "I'm hurt," and then he says he shoots himself, and he says, "Yeah, it's the exact same thing," which is frightening. So how serious are actions like these being taken at the ground level, at the high school athlete level? Because to ask a coach or someone who deals with children, are parents truly concerned about their children anymore, or any more than when we were young, or is it just
oh, a
something?
thousand percent. It's one of the declining numbers.
Declining
And
numbers
to,
of what? Declining numbers of what? Football?
of football players, yeah.
And now you saying that, and that sounds like completely counterintuitive to what I'm being sold, because everybody loves football. So why wouldn't the numbers be increasing?
Because of injuries. I'm just telling you.
I
We have kids that are not playing
mm,
because of concussions, because their parents don't want them to get concussions, because their parents fear it. At every
now
school I've been at, there are kids that don't play because of that, and the schools and everything take it very very seriously now.
do
Any
they want,
injury
I
is
guess.
taking, I don't want to say overly serious.
Mm,
We got a kid who sprained his ankle the other day. MRIs, doctors. He sprained his ankle, dude. I've seen a sprained ankle in my life before. They're checking ligaments. They're checking. He sprained his ankle. But nowadays, check everything.
the now I'm the hef into the mic is the whole nowadays thing. It's like I feel like we it couldn't have been. Is it to the extent that it wasn't before? We're Was it relative in terms of the concern? You know what I mean? As opposed to, I guess, which is, I guess you look back to the 60s where they didn't have helmets, or it was just the one bar, and therefore what happened in the 80s and 90s when we were growing up was that much of a, you know what I mean? Was that much safer in comparison to the 60s to the way it is now? You see what I'm saying? Is it relative, or is it just
No, because in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, we didn't know about the cumulative effects
hmm,
of the brain
but
damage.
we did know that it was glorified violence.
No, we knew that, but we didn't know the cumulative effect that each
Okay.
concussion worsens. Each time you get your bell rung, your brain
Well,
injury worsens. No, we just thought, hey, you got your bell rung this year. Next year, hey, you got your bell rung again. Not that it was a cumulative. That's what I'm saying. The
no,
cumulative
I get
effect
what you're
is
saying.
the
I'm wondering because I'm taken back to a Carlin bit, which I'm sure you remember when it was called shell shock and it became post traumatic stress disorder.
100%.
Is that the kind of thing where it was shell shock. It wasn't to the same thing because it was war, but you were running around getting your head smashed into things and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. It just wasn't taken the same way. I still can't get past it. It still is violent. At the end of the day, we're still slamming bodies into one another.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, and the injuries, whether not the head injuries, I guess, but the leg and body injuries, those we knew about, but it was still fine and it was okay. So it's,
Yeah.
it's what it comes back to. So what it comes back to is when we were young, nicknames came from people and sports writers, and it was you watch the player and the people made that a nickname for that person. Uh, the one that I look back to, and it's Paul George who jumped the gun and just decided I'm playoff P, and we've made fun of him and others like that ever since. So Travis Hunter announcing he wants to be called the unicorn, is
Great.
that okay with Chris with
I
Porzingis
wouldn't have
still
known that
playing?
until you told me.
I just, which is the follow up to that is with athletes and owners and politicians taking their quotes and opinions directly to the public via public, via their social media accounts.
Right.
What role does traditional media have going forward?
I mean, this is like a question for like NYU journalism school, not a Rinky Dink
Essentially,
podcast.
well, that is
I know
100%
it's a
correct, but
terrific
yeah,
question, but it's a question that you need to get like
but
in
it comes from exactly
Anthony
this, which
Irwin
is,
Kornheiser and
but
Mike Lupica
it's
and
the same question. It's Travis Hunter has decided that I'm going to be called the unicorn. It's something where he doesn't have to tell that to a reporter who would go, "I'm not calling you the unicorn." He
remember
gets to
who's the
just
man?
announce it. Hmm?
Remember who's the man?
Oh, you're saying who's the
Who's
no?
the
Because
man? The
who?
movie
Yeah, it
with
wasn't. Go
Dre
ahead.
and Ed Lover, and then Dennis Leary is the
Oh,
captain,
see,
and he's
I
like,
was
"Are you
thinking
a
of
doctor? What are you a doctor of?" He goes, "I'm gonna be king. You're gonna call me king now."
and you said who's the man. I was thinking of the movie where they dressed up like a basket, like it was a woman who dressed up like a man for the Knicks or something like that.
Oh,
Wasn't
Juana
there a
Man.
movie like Joanna Man? Sorry,
No, who's the
Joanna
man?
Man.
Classic
Who's the man is
1990s.
Dre and Ed Lover. Yes,
Dre
it's
and Ed
Dr.
Lover,
Dre and Ed
great
Lover. Yes,
movie.
I apologize. You're right
And
because it
Dennis
comes
Leary goes
back
off
to
on the
what
rip.
you
I'm
can
going
be
to call
called.
myself king. Everyone has to call me king now. It's the same thing. Call yourself whatever you
Well,
want.
but my point was the able to switch it to the journalism question is because he was
To
able to.
quote Oscar Bonavina, his mama call him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay. Clay, Clay. Why you no go by Clay no more? And then he got his ass whooped.
That's true. So essentially, so long as you can beat somebody up, you can say whatever you
Exactly.
want going forward. That's a
Listen,
fair
that's still
point.
life. That's still life.
The
Who said that?
traditional media that I was talking about, what?
You a master now. You a master. Can you
Oh,
kick my ass?
oh, it's what's original King comedy that is. That no, I'm trying to remember who that is, but yeah,
It's Chris
can
Rock
you?
in Bigger and Blacker.
That's right. Can you whoop my ass? Yeah.
Can you kick my ass?
Which takes me off topic, but the point is they can because social media will tell them they're able to. No, it wasn't that. I
Right.
was talking about what happens with the big four, which wasn't, and the big four that I'm talking about are the big four sports that we all follow, which is the NFL is currently, and I'm sure there's more, they're in bed with Fox, CBS, and ESPN, which is going to be even bigger going forward with the app, and then Amazon and Netflix. They've got side things on with them. DirecTV, they got a little side thing on with them. When they're
Yeah.
in town and everything like that. The NBA, ESPN, NBC. Who am I missing with that? Not Turner anymore, right?
No, Turner,
But
well, sort of.
sort of, but
Turner is
it's
still in charge of inside the NBA.
all right. So oh no, NBC. I'm sorry. It's NBC. I
NBC
had I
is
had
coming
it's
back.
ESPN and NBC.
Little
Yeah. John Tesh.
John
Did,
Tesh round ball rock.
did
Let's
you see
fucking
the have you
go.
seen the commercial with the
Oh, I've
hair
seen the
winded and
commercials. The first day
it
I'm gonna be naked in my room watching NBA and NBC.
oh and on a side, well, that was somebody else's. It was a Gilbert Arenas stupidity move, which I'm
uh,
bringing up just to make fun of you. Did you notice that part of he was going to be on someone's broadcast and then he
yeah,
did something stupid again? And it's just
there's
like,
some like illegal poker game they were running,
yeah, I
but like
was,
multi-million-dollar illegal poker game, not like like it's
I,
apparently a big thing.
I
Like the
mentioned it because
FBI is
someone
in
said,
on
yeah,
it.
yeah, because he
Oh, he's a
was
schmuck.
already
Always been
he
a
was
schmuck.
already dumb and it's
Yeah.
not that he was dumb, he made a dumb decision and then doubled down on the stupidity of it, and then it's the kind of thing where instead of going, you know what, I'm going to back up, no, I'm pushing all chips in, why not?
Yeah.
But
Like
that's
Jim
kind
Foster.
of that's kind of what MLB has done with local broadcasters and the dream of we're going to get to what's it 2028 when they'll have the ability to have everybody, you know,
Yeah,
up for contract at the same time, and then to decide whether they're going to take over the app and bring everything in house and be kind of the first one to be able to do that and then sell out their own product, which I believe is what they're going to try to do.
yeah,
But
and they will, and they'll make money. Everybody's making
so
money.
that's and that's
Well, the WNBA is not making money. Everyone else is making money.
the is the NHL making money? Because I mean
Yes,
they've
they
got
have. I've
Turner
always
and
said this. Yeah, I've said this on this podcast. They have a core audience that they play to, and that's it.
mhm.
They figured out in the early 2000s. They had that boom in the 90s, helped with the video game, and they tried to go huge in the early 2000s. And then they had the lockout, and they realized they couldn't go huge. Market to their core audience, put the games on where that group of people can find it and be fine. They're not trying to compete with the other three sports.
Okay, so then if you said that was a journalism and you NYU 101 journalism question, here's another one. Is there room for those without access to digital devices? There are. What
Mm,
about the millions
and millions.
of those who don't have the money or access to get online for their entertainment that
Well,
are living in the hotels that are, you know what I mean, that are
yeah,
the
well, it's a
weekly rental
problem. I don't know
hotels?
what to tell you. I mean, again, I don't know the whole deal with Starlink, which is that Elon Musk thing where he provides
Mhm.
internet to rural areas, but like that's a thing. You know,
So do they
I'm not
just
smart enough. I'm
no,
not
no,
well read
I know
enough
you're
in
not
it.
smart
That's
enough.
all.
I'm
Oh,
saying,
thanks.
but it comes back to, well, I know you're not smart enough. It comes back to the thought of I you're do they just are you just willing, is it not willingly? Are you're just missing out and you just have a generation of people that
Well, no, but
that are
it's
growing
no
up on
different than when
highlights?
cable took over. When we
Mm-hmm.
were in the 90s, when cable became huge, cable television,
Mm-hmm.
there were millions and millions and millions and millions of people that didn't have cable television.
That's true. That is true.
The Keaton
And
family,
oh, Michael P. Keaton, they didn't have cable, did they?
Alex P. Keaton.
Alex P. Keaton. Was it that Michael? No, Michael Keaton is the actor.
Right.
Uh,
Michael J. Fox played Alex P.
Alex P.
Keaton.
Keaton. Mike, the whole Michaels, the two Michaels things would throw it off there. You the basically it's my point is you're getting a lot of people who are just watching your sports on highlights via YouTube
Yeah. Well,
because
again,
that's
that's
something you
I've noticed a million times. All the kids do. My nephew, he just watches the highlights. He saw every highlight of the Mets game today. He didn't actually watch the Mets game.
so if your fan base is only seeing action via highlights, how deep is their love and does it
Not that
matter
deep.
if
Not
broadcast rights
not that
money?
deep.
So then how do you then come 2028, how much money can MLB really ask for if, well, I guess you have to have somebody to produce the highlights to be able to
Right.
then watch the highlights. So
Yeah.
I say all that because you mentioned before, if you didn't have cable, you certainly didn't get a chance to see Ichiro Suzuki in his prime.
Right.
He reached the postseason in '01, which is his rookie MVP season, and then 2012 when he was traded to
The New York Yankees.
at the age of 38.
Yeah.
So, with the same sort of mindset, how many people actually got a chance to see Ichiro play during he played for 19 years? And, how many people got to truly see him outside of Seattle, outside of, the AL West, which was what,
Right.
Texas and
And
Anaheim and Oakland? It's like who really got to see him?
oh, people that went to baseball games.
And how much does it hurt that a no doubt first ballot Hall of Famer like Ichiro was probably seen more by the Japanese tourists who came over here in person
Right.
than likely those who saw them on their screens during his time here? Um, yeah, it's a question that you're not going to answer. It was I sent you the meme that I saw, which was, Dad, how good was Ichiro?
The
There's a
hits. My brother
list.
sent me that the next day too. I had seen that a
Oh,
few years ago.
there's a list of 29 people who are members of the 3000 hit club and their number of hits they had through age 26. 26. Wade Boggs had 531 hits by age 26. He reached 3000. Ichiro Suzuki,
Zero.
Big huge zero. Ty Cobb at 1600. He's the top of the list. There's a lot of really good players. Ricky, who only needs to go by Ricky because it's Ricky.
Because
Well,
it's Ricky,
who else would you talk about besides Ricky if you're talking about Ricky? So
not Rick
uh Ra-
Honeycutt.
Rick Honeycutt, do not talk about that. So the trivia question is going to deal with Ichiro. He
Okay,
went into the Hall of Fame. I still haven't listened to the speech. I heard he made
it's
something
really
funny or
good.
like that.
It's really good. He
Uh,
did it all in English. It's really good.
10 straight gold gloves is seemingly forgotten over the ridiculous, awesome numbers. But the hits is what it is. Like we went through, there's 29 guys that started off before him that have 3,000 hits. He has 3,089 in Major League Baseball. And I said this last week, I didn't realize CC Sabathia had 3,000. But those are numbers in
Mhm.
baseball, automatic entry into the Hall of Fame. Doesn't matter what you did else before. You got 3,000, you're in. Ichiro, of his 3,089 hits, how many were triples? The number I'm looking for is how many of Ichiro's 3,089 hits were of the three bag variety? Doom, doom,
So
doom,
86.
doom, 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 doom,
86
doom. 86. 86
for the
is the
match
number.
for the Amazons.
86 is the number. I will thank you for listening to two THS grads taking over my latest Mets up. The answer will be in the description for the episode, and I'll be back soon enough, hopefully with something better to put down. Take it easy down your last highway and have a good evening.